Your Colt is doing okay. Had the biggest problem we have with them, obviously, they all have their inherent genetic attributes or problems with starting. So for him being a stud colt and being a kid, everything wants to go through his mouth. He wants to investigate and control everything with his mouth. So it's keeping that in check and tolerating certain things and correcting other things, okay? So violation equals the correction. He'll just grow out of a lot of that stuff as long as you keep it in check. And he understands respect and not feeling like he has to defend himself. The biggest thing with him and getting him started, which is one of the biggest problems with colt starting, is the lazy bastards that don't want to move their feet. A lot of that resistance is normal. Some of them are a lot more sensitive. But you can't train without forward energy. See, I just told him a little bigger. I asked him. I kissed to him. I gestured to him. He really didn't want to move his feet. So, if he doesn't understand that, he works around me and he moves his feet, when I tell him, he's going to develop a problem. This this resistance, okay? He will get very complacent and he won't take me serious, no matter what you ask him to do. He's not going to do it with energy, and he's not going to do it now. And he's always going to be searching for a way out of a problem or any discomfort. So we're going to start off today. I just want to move his feet around just a little bit. I want him thinking forward. That's been our biggest problem. When I posture to him and step out in front of his eye, I want his feet to stop. I want him to look at me. Get that impulsion. There. And step to the inside. No pressure. So I have to be able to show the ability to dictate, the ability to move his feet, and develop some respect and space, and teach him how to relinquish authority, and that he'll find that relief. I'm not here to beat him up or torment him. There. And push him through. This round pen is not for chasing a horse in a circle. It's to gain control over his feet, to get control over his mind. See, it's hard it creates energy just to keep him at a trot. But if I'm not adamant about that and let him commit to the mistake and then correct it and get complacent about that, that's just what I'll get, okay? So we want to make sure, see him stop his feet and hide over there. He's not making an effort to come through here. He's going to wait for me to come tell him to move his feet. He turned into the fence right there. Look at me. Look at me, bud. That's why I'm drawing his eye, backing up, catching his eye with my hand. Look at me. There. And turn off. Pull him to the inside. There. Leave him alone a moment. He can't be afraid of my tools. I need to be able to touch him anywhere. He's not afraid I'm going to whack him, okay? If that's all I use this for, I won't be able to pick it up without him throwing his head or moving his feet. So this is the good part for him. This is where he gets left alone. He gets to take a break. So I want to be able to touch him all over. And he's learning. This is where he processes, okay? He learns from the relief of pressure and how to get it, not pressure. Pressure motivates, creates energy. Release teaches him how to get out of things or how to stop you from doing something. I can't make him do anything. All I can do is set him up to learn. So he starts to understand the concept, and he develops enough repetition that he can process that and understand what's being asked and right answers to get left alone. And as long as he tries, I can teach. So I'm going to get my halter here, and I'll give you a basic idea of groundwork. Preparation for putting him under saddle. There are a lot of requirements, simple as they are, that most horses can't do, okay? That's about safety and me being in a position. See, he wants to grab that right there. I'm going to make that uncomfortable. There. Don't try to pull it out of his mouth. Rock that damn thing back and forth on his gums and make him uncomfortable for doing that, and he'll let it go. See, he'll go right back. Remember, he's got no hands, so everything's going to go through his mouth. So right off the bat, I'm not concerned with that. I want him yielding those hindquarters and looking at me, okay? And backing out of my space. Step around here. Catch his eye with my hand, lift that shoulder. Tell him and back up. That a boy. Backing up is submissive, remember. A horse that won't relinquish space is disrespectful. And when they get disrespectful to the point that they've also lost their fear of you, they become dangerous. So I'm just going to shorten up everything here and ask him to step over here. I'm not trying to lead him. I'm sending him somewhere. Direct and drive, okay? I've got to have some control over his body. I'm not going to worry about him playing with that damn clip. As long as he's going forward. Look at me. There. Now he can change direction. Because he yielded and looked at me with two eyes there. Basic direct and drive. Don't pull on me. I made him uncomfortable, see? I asked him, then I told him. Do not pull on my freaking hand. Look at me. Step back. There, step over here. Now, he's had enough instructions and lessons, but see him still make me step in there? His work ethic is almost nil, so He has got to develop expectations of what's going to happen here. That's better. If I don't enforce that, what I'm asking him, I'm teaching him to ignore me, be disrespectful. I don't have to. Look at me. That's it. And step back, step over here. Push. There. He can fall asleep and be comatose 23 hours a day. Well, while he's here, he has to try. See him put his head to the outside? I'll get after his hip. Rather than get in a pulling match with him, I'll get after his hip, and his head will come to the inside. He'll want me. There. I banged on that. That's why you can't use them flat web halters. Something a little thinner, you can ask him politely, but if I bump on that, it has a little bit more bite to it. Enough to make him uncomfortable when he pulls. So basic ground control. Not be worried about my tools. I need to throw stuff at his face and over his head. He can't be afraid of my tools. His lead rope, the stuff he's handled with every day. And he's learning postures, gestures, and tension. Okay? He understands I don't want him to move his feet. So, there. His head's quiet, right? He's ignoring that. There you go. He needs to learn to process things and think. He needs a lot of information as he develops along. Not react on instinct and get defensive and you move your hand big, you throw a lead rope over, he jumps away. He's still, because he's not used to doing anything. All right, that's good enough right now. We're gonna just him off, saddle him up, fly spray him a little bit so we don't have any distractions there, and just get on him and show you what our expectations are these first few rides. All right. So I get on him, do nothing but sit there and rub him for a moment. Get rid of our block. We forgot several rides on him. So the biggest thing right off is make sure the fear's out of him, which obviously he's pretty complacent with a lot of stuff. He had some issues right off, but nothing major. But getting him confident about what's going to happen. Start to work on his lateral softness. If you can't get lateral softness, you can't steer him. Lateral softness and learn how to give and be soft and find release leads to vertical softness. See, he just wants to pull. There, he's finding it. He gives, pressure goes away. Don't forget, this is also the foundation of your steering. If you can't steer him, you can't control his feet. You can't upset his balance. You can't redirect energy. See him just lock up there, not respond to that. She's going to bump him there until he gives. So he doesn't instinctively just want to look for that release from pressure unless it's uncomfortable enough. He looks around there at her foot, tries to grab stuff. She's only going to react to that when he tries to grab the stirrup or grab her foot, and she's going to kick him in the nose. Hopefully with enough effectiveness that it makes him uncomfortable, that he doesn't continue doing that. He just stops it because it's a bad idea. She's just waiting on him right here. If little bit, she just gave it to him. Pick him up, stay wide there. That's better. We'll do this so much, several times a session generally, because that's what it takes to become neurological, not have to something to wait on him to process, I know this, and then do it. It's got to be developed into a feel thing. Make sure we can touch him all over. Then we're going to ask for some forward impulsion. So soft leg, and when we kiss to him, it means something to him because next we're going to drive his feet. We're going to use a lead rope. We're going to use an over and under. We're going to use a dressage whip, training stick, something to enforce. Kissing is always followed up by escalation. Don't teach him, when you kiss to him, just ignore me. You teach him that by not following up and escalating pressure. The relief he's going to find is just going forward and get left alone. She doesn't even care where he goes. She just wants to untrack his feet. Untrack his feet, untrack his mind. Let him just go somewhere. I'm going to pull you up a notch here in a moment. We don't overcinch these colts in the beginning. Just tight enough to hold everything in place, not get in a wreck. And I don't mean just barely touching him. I mean snug enough, but I'd rather do it in increments and not get him cinchy. The first time we saddled this horse, and just snug enough to move his feet, he went up in the air 4 times before I got enough encouragement to teach him how to go forward out of that. And there was his release because he felt that bind around his body. We generally always start these colts in a Western rig. It's a little bit more secure, and you got some more tools there to use. See, I'm going to create energy to help her lead him through and drive his feet if she needs. Because he has no work ethic whatsoever. So he's got to develop this. And understand what's going to happen. And that he has to try, and we'll leave him alone. But he can't just blow us off. He has to take you serious. He's not very sensitive, so he's going to make me get after him and tell him constantly. And he's not going to be happy about it sometimes. But like I said, he has to go back to relinquishing that authority. Turn him into me and bring him through and get him. We're just teaching him how to follow feel and redirect feet. See, he's walking around here like he's going to his own hanging. So his mind's wandering. See, left, right. He doesn't have a forward destination in mind, like he's going off to the hot dog stand or something. See, that's a little better. So remember, you can't train anything without forward impulsion because it's about redirecting energy. She's going to lift a hand and stop him right there. Just one rein. Now I'm going to step in here. Check him. I'm going to snug him up again. This is why we have a ladder going on 2 sides, so we can have a balanced cinch. Now we'll ask him to just trot off here a little bit, and we'll build that from there into a canter. He doesn't have to do a lot. What he's got to do is develop consistency and do what he does normal. She's going to ask him, light squeeze, and just use impulsion behind. So as we've gone along over several rides, I'm doing less and less driving his feet, and she'll start teaching him how to step off of her legs. If I'm still squeezing, you're not going fast enough. Keep it simple. She doesn't release her legs until she gets what she wants. There. Otherwise, she's not teaching. Hence your people with spurs on their feet. Squeeze. Then they're going to kicking. That doesn't work. They put spurs on. Then they got a dressage whip. Then they're spanking his ass. When he's so poorly broke, the son of a bitch can't do any of it with relaxed responsiveness. Because he has no work ethic and he doesn't really understand. Do what I tell you to do until I tell you to do something else. Let him commit to the mistake so you can teach. Better. She let him commit to the mistake and walk, and then she squeezed, she kissed, then she spanked. She hot released them legs as soon as he stepped into it. He's got to learn that to get off of those legs now. Right there. Heavy, heavy, heavy. I'm going to help push his hip over. Block his eye. Push his front end through. There. Go ahead, excite him up into a trot. She's just going to keep escalating. Keep escalating. You see how much he didn't want to go forward? But it wasn't until he went forward that she stopped. He's trying to just ignore that. And if you don't escalate that pressure and get slapping harder and harder and harder every time, all you're doing is desensitizing. And pretty soon you couldn't move him with a cannon. Change direction. I'm going to help move his feet, push that shoulder through, and get his feet going. You lazy bastard. See how close he's staying to me here? The closer he is, the less he has to do in his mind, okay? And he feels that eventually he'll control space there. Let's push him up and ask him to canter. That's swap hand there. There, he got the cork out of his ass. I'll help keep him going. There, just sit down big right there. Stop energy. He stops his feet. See, that didn't kill him. He found that he got relief by doing that. And he learns what happens, okay? There. And excite him up. I'm going to push him the other way. There's a little protest. See, he doesn't want to go forward. Make our point. Boy, if you robbed a bank in the Old West and jumped on this son of a bitch outside, you'd be disappointed, wouldn't you? There. You notice as soon as that energy stops, his feet he just dies. He's going to do as little as possible to get out of doing anything. So without that leadership and enforcing that, he will develop zero work ethic, and you will not be able to make him go. As a matter of fact, when they get to that point, you stop making him too much and he gets defensive. He'll start rearing with you. He'll start dominating you with his face. He'll start bucking because he'll escalate pressure to get you to leave him alone. So make your point and leave him alone. So that's pretty much what we're building on with him, because impulsion is so hard. We're just trying to develop some work ethic as he goes along and some expectation. So we start quiet, we finish quiet. Just bring him right here to the center. She's gonna rub on him a moment there. Now I'm on the outside, or on the outer edge. He's in the center, okay? I want his mind thinking inside. Pay attention to me all the time. Not looking through fences and getting up on top of fences and trying to run through things, because that's where his mind is. Relief is in here. You can shorten up there and just step off of him if you want. She's going to loosen him up immediately. The first thing she does when her feet hit the ground. And she's going to walk him off. That's a big relief for him right there. He processes that. She leads, he follows. And that's what makes him want to follow, leadership, okay? It's easy to teach a horse to lead when you get one that wants to follow you. When they don't want to follow you, that leading can become difficult, just to teach proper position as we go along. So I hope that gave you some thoughts and some insights on what we do and minor expectations. And some horses I get a lot more out of, some I get even less out of. But with his situation and his lack of sensitivity and his lack of impulsion, he has really just got to develop a quiet, respectful, working attitude here. And set up in a way that he learns from every ride. And keep the fist fights to a minimum. If he's a nice horse, he's respectful, he's quiet, he's nice to get on and off of, he steers nice, he'll walk, trot, canter on a soft rein, stop nice, back up. Almost anybody can ride him, okay? If he can't do that, a horseman doesn't want to get on his ass, and a beginner's not safe.